Greetings, citizens! Just kidding, that's not my real voice. But that is how my title character greets classmates in my book, Captain Superlative. I'm J.S. Puller, and I am so excited that my book, my first book ever, is on this year's Texas Bluebonnet list. Today, I am here to answer some questions about Captain Superlative, but I have to tell you, this is my first video interview ever, so I'm really nervous. I want to get everything right, you know, the lighting, the jokes, the costuming. You know, Captain Superlative is really more of a bright and colorful character. I'm really not feeling this outfit, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to change costumes really quickly, and then I will be back to answer all of your questions, so just a moment. Okay, so much better. Alright, so, what's the first question? So who or what is the inspiration behind Captain Superlative? That's a really good question with a really complicated answer. I mean, the way writers work, it's a lot like a bird building a nest. You know, they steal a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and they mush it all together, and they somehow come up with the coherent whole. I took bits and pieces from all over my life. You know, my experiences when I was a junior high student, personality traits from a lot of my friends, some of the research I did that I'll talk about later, but I like to say that the origins of the idea, where it really started out, was actually in a very funny way. I was visiting with my best friend from high school, and her grandmother was over, and my friend and her mother asked if I would sing a song for her grandmother. I love show tunes, I love musicals, and at the time one of my favorites was called Man of La Mancha. Man of La Mancha is the story of an elderly gentleman who one day decides that he wants to be a knight in shining armor, even though knights in shining armor don't really exist anymore, and it sort of causes confusion and hilarity all around him. And the song that I chose was from Man of La Mancha. It was called A Little Gossip. Now, I'm not going to sing it. My voice is terrible. Find Neil Patrick Harris. I'm sure he can sing it much better than I can. But the song, A Little Gossip, is sung by a character named Sancho, who is my favorite character in the story. He is Don Quixote's sidekick, this relatively normal guy who follows him around on all of his misadventures. And at the time, I remember thinking I was really sad that Sancho was usually played by a male actor, but I thought it would be a really great role for a female actor. And that sort of idea, that seed, sat with me for a very long time. And eventually it started to become the origins of Janie, who is the narrator of Captain Superlative. So I guess that's really how the story started out, if there is one specific place. You know, this is colorful, but it's only one color, and Captain Superlative is so many different colors, so I think I need to change costumes again. I swear it will be very quick. I will be right back. Alright. Now this is definitely the winning outfit. So, what is the next question? How do you think kids should deal with real bullies? There is no easy answer to that question, but in terms of dealing with real bullies, one way to deal with them is not alone. If someone is giving you a hard time, if someone is mistreating you, you have to tell someone. Because as Janie finds out in Captain Superlative, many times when someone is harassing you, it's because they have a problem of their own that really needs help. So that's the first way to deal with them. The second, I think, is often to recognize that when someone's picking on you, it usually isn't about you. It's usually about their own feelings coming out in all the wrong ways. That is the hardest lesson I ever had to learn. But looking back at my life, I see that it was really true now, and I wish I had known then what I understand now. So that's the second way to deal with real bullies. You know what? Still not feeling it. It's colorful, but it's not whimsical enough. Captain Superlative is a really exciting and energetic character, and this isn't her. So I'm going to try one more time. Last time, promise I will be right back. All right, I got it. This is perfect. It has eyes. See? All right. All right. So, next question. So what are some ways that kids can be superlative every day? I'm actually going to cheat in answering that because I think Captain Superlative actually puts it better than I could ever put it. So, in the book, on page 116, when talking to Janie, Captain Superlative says, "It's all the same. Good is good, and good is a habit. You have to get into it. And sometimes the best way to do that is with the little stuff. Holding a door open for someone who can't, or pointing the way to the cafeteria to the new kid who's lost on the first day. And once you get into the habit, then you can start on the bigger, better, bestest things," Captain Superlative continued. "Like standing up to Dagmar Hagen when she's picking on someone." So that's it, really. Being superlative is all about getting into the habit of doing good. Start with the small things and build your way up. Oh boy, you know what? This shirt is still not doing it for me. I'll be back. Alright, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. It's a superhero shirt for a superhero story. Alright, what is the next question? What research, if any, did you complete for this book? That's a fun question. I should tell you a little bit about my background. I have an undergraduate degree in theater for playwriting, and I have a master's degree in elementary education. And a lot of the research and assignments that I had for my master's degree actually played into it. I think the most relevant is actually the research that I did about bullying. We read a lot of articles when I was in class about bullying and learned, among other things, that there are 3 participants in bullying, in the act of bullying. There is the bully, there's the victim, and then there's the bystander. And the bystander is really the one that sort of caught my attention. The bystander is someone who sees the bully bullying the victim and does nothing about it, does nothing to stop it, does nothing to encourage it, just stands by. And I found myself asking, why would someone be a bystander? Because I don't believe someone would be a bystander for no reason. And it was in thinking about this question that I actually started to develop the story of Janie's life. So I would say that's the most important research that I did. I did tons of others. I spoke to a lot of Chinese Americans about their lives. I did a lot of research on various diseases. I did a ton of research actually in interactions in junior high school hallways. So yeah, I did a lot of research, and I also could draw on my own experiences because, believe it or not, I once was a junior high student. So I would think that's sort of the primary area where I did my research. You know what? The shirt is still not enough. I have to figure out something else. I'm really sorry about this. I will be right back. Alright, this is it. This is it. This is the missing piece. Now I finally have blue hair just like Captain Superlative. Finally, perfection in this interview. Okay, so what is the next question? What advice do you have for young authors and illustrators if they want to learn to improve their skills? It's actually the same sort of advice that a basketball coach might give, that a singing coach might give, that any sort of coach might give for any sort of skill, and that's to practice. Practice, practice, practice every single day. A basketball player is going to practice shooting hoops, a singer is going to practice scales, and a writer or illustrator needs to practice their own skills. I like to tell young authors that they should try to write a little bit every day. It doesn't have to be in the same story. It doesn't have to be something that you'll eventually use later. You can write a poem about the scene you see outside your window, or write down a list of all the different ways that your mother walks when she's in the house. Basically, just find something to write about. Make an observation, make some creative suggestion, and bit by bit, you learn to improve your skills just by doing. Same goes for drawing, sketch your brother's nose, or sketch an exotic animal from the planet Yumpy that you've just created in your head. And always try to challenge yourself to do a little bit every day. A really, really big help for me, actually, when I started writing, was writing fan fiction. Because I was able to practice writing in a world that I didn't create, so I didn't have to worry about creating the characters. I didn't have to come up with the rules for, how magic or science or technology worked. I could just use the characters and build my own stories. And from there, I started practicing creating characters and creating rules and creating worlds until I was able to do my own. So that's definitely my advice, is practice every day and, have fun with it, because if you're not having fun, what's the point? I have to say, I've had a lot of fun doing this interview, so I want to thank you for listening, and I hope that you will check out my book, Captain Superlative. So until next time, farewell, citizens, and don't forget, Captain Superlative is here to make all troubles disappear. All right, have fun reading.